Okay, here we go. Let's put our ISOs in vSphere. I always get confused by this, so I figured I better make a video. Here we go. So I'm going in and I am going to go into my ISO directory here. And in here, you could see I got my Windows ISO and my other one, but I'm going to put a new ISO in here because I had the wrong one. All right, here we go. So now the one that I just downloaded today at 2:04, this one. So you got to upload this, and yeah. Ooh. I don't know. We'll try reloading it. ISO. We'll go in here, upload files, upload, and we're going to grab this new image. Here we go. Ooh, what's this? Well, anyways, that's normally how you would upload the ISOs. And then after you upload the ISO, you'd go over here, and you'd go and you'd run image builder. So you'd set this password, which I've gotten rid of, and then you'd run this command. And then when you run this Docker command, what this does is it goes over to vSphere, and it goes and it jumps in here. It reads this ISO, and then after it reads the ISO, it goes and it but as you can see, incorrect username or password, of course, because I put the wrong password in on purpose. But so now I want to see what happened here. So it says the operation failed for an undetermined reason. Typically, this problem occurs due to certificates the browser does not trust. If you're using self-signed certs, open the URL in the news. Now that is this is so it looks like a client-side thing where I didn't accept the certificate. I don't know. We can try again. And it's working now. So I had to accept the cert. That's interesting. So you could see 1%. So you do that thing where you type "this is not safe" in the ESXi host, and I guess that solves it. This is not safe. Type that in Chrome. That's right, y'all. This is not safe. So then after you upload that, then now you've got this thing will be up. And then after this thing is up, then we go back and then we can run image builder here. Let me kill this. One other thing that I think is worth noting here is this -e packer log, right? I really like this thing. So -e packer log. Okay. So this is what gives me all these yummy sort of things about internals of how image builder works. So then what image builder is, image builder is this thing. Okay, so here's our official TKG docs, right? Of course, I'm assuming you all kind of already have tried to read the docs or whatever, and this is just some deep dive into this stuff. So image builder is a repo managed by Kubernetes SIGs, and that is a repo that gives you that this repo gives us the tooling to build our Windows OVAs, right? So you build your window OVA, and then your Windows OVA is then an input to a TKG, becomes a TKG, a node in TKG that runs the Windows kubelet for Windows clusters. So if you go into Windows 2019. So you go to images, Cappy, Packer, OVA, Windows. Okay, so then you go in here, and then that's where all the code is for all these. So these are like these Ansible recipe things, and they have all this, like all these steps that they do um, to create our VMs. So where do I close? So you wind up running this build Windows OVA target, and so to see how that works, if you look in here in this Docker command, if I expand this and you look at this Docker command in here, you'll see there's these mounts, and we're mounting some local files. Okay, and this is all in the docs. But the thing to note here is that ultimately that this Docker command does is it runs this container here. It runs this container. Okay, let me paste it in here for you all. Okay, so it runs this container. Okay, and the input that it gives that container is this target, right? It gives it this target. Okay, this is the make target it gives it, right? And so it literally builds a OVA sphere Windows Kubernetes node. And so here's like all the Packer stuff for that's defined over here. And then these variables get substituted. And in TKG, in our docs, you'll see we kind of give you some directions on how to substitute these variables. And one of these things these do is they go and then they talk to the burrito, which is here, right? I call this thing the burrito, but it's actually called the image builder resource kit. Okay, but I call it the burrito, right? That's what I call it. I call it the burrito. This is what I call it. Ooh. Okay, so there you go. And the reason I call it the burrito is because it's got all of the binaries for a Windows executable for a Windows Kubernetes node in it. Okay, so if you want to see what I mean by that, curl, we've got I thought I like tested this earlier. I don't see it in my history. kubectl get pods -a grep Windows, right? Is it image builder resource kit, right? So this thing here. So this pod, right, has inside of it. So like, for example, let's go to this NSSM, right? So if I do kubectl get service -a-o wide, you'll see that one of them is one of the services that's running is this Windows image builder resource kit, which is here. Okay, so if I was to curl down this, this is the burrito. If I was to curl that here, you'll see all these things in here. So this is a JSON payload that tells you here are all the files that I have in my burrito. I have the kubeproxy.exe. I have kubectl.exe. I have kubeadm.exe. We don't really, yeah, we do need that, but we don't necessarily. Well, yeah, yeah, because we do use when we have to bootstrap with kubeadm, so it has to be in the image. Of course we have to have a kubelet in the OVA, in the Windows OVA, and we also have to have Antria in the Windows OVA, and we have to have Windows Containerd in there, right? So these are all the things that need to get installed before you can have a Windows Kubernetes node, right? So what happens is you run this burrito thing down here, and then after you're running that, then in image builder you go and you give it the URL of the service endpoint that you're running it on, because we run this on a node port. And then now that you're running this on a node port, when Image Builder runs, it goes and it curls down these files from here. So it curls down, for example, it will curl down, slash, you know, this, right? It'll literally, Image Builder will literally go and it'll grab this, right? So you can see kubeproxy.exe. You can see that's a Windows executable, right? So it will pull those down and then it'll bake these into the image itself. Okay. So that is how Windows Image Builder, that's kind of how the overall thing works. Now let's see if we finished uploading over here. It looks like we did it. So if I reload, will I see it? Okay, so if I go to ISO, oh, come on. What did I do? Here we go. All right, so we've uploaded this, and now I got to grab this path over here, right? So let me go grab this path. Let's grab that path. And then we're going to go in here. Okay, and we're going to set this path, which is the path here, because I had the wrong OS ISO path, right? So now OS ISO path here. Okay, we're going to set that. Okay. And then we'll get rid of the old one. That didn't seem to work as well. Now, where do you get these from? Well, you download these from the Windows. You download all this stuff from here. I think this is kind of where you're supposed to download these from. So if I go here, each one of these has like a, download that you can get. So you download them, store them somewhere, and then you upload them to your own vSphere. And now that I've done that, but you don't want to do the evaluations, because if you do the evaluations, then you run into other problems where it doesn't automatically bootstrap it and it sort of tries to walk you through some dialogue. And there's some way to set up auto unattend so that you don't have to go through that dialogue. But I forgot. I think I had like a blog post about this or something, like auto unattend.xml. Yeah, I think it was here where I had to learn this. I don't know what all this was. Yeah. So if you see this timeout waiting for IP, it usually means you have the wrong ISO. Now, getting the right ISO isn't necessarily the easiest thing in the world, but oh yeah. I think you have to do this. You have to go in and like do some registered organization thing. Maybe it's this skip stuff. I think it's something like that. There's some workaround, like if you have the wrong ISO, where you can make it so it doesn't force you to try to walk through everything. Otherwise, it gets stuck. But in my case, I just have an ISO that works. So since I have an ISO that works, now I can go in here and I can stop sharing while I set my password up. So actually, I'll just do it over here. I'm going to make you look at that Windows thing for a second. So now, get diff, 1 second. Yeah, there it is. Okay. Okay, there we go. I gotta set my password and then I'm coming back. Okay. That. Okay. And now I'm going to go over here. Okay. And I'm going to do one of these. And now I think we're going to get lucky, because now I can go in here and hopefully, if I have a correct ISO, we will see this VM try to come up this time. So if you sit here, you'll eventually see, it takes a second, but eventually you'll see a new VM get created. Where is it? Here it is. Okay. So you can see this Windows VM is coming up now. Ooh, doesn't like it. This is not happy at all. So we'll have to see why. Anyways, I think that's good enough. That's good enough. You get the idea. This is the image builder experience.